Okay, so we've had several people ask what the area looks like, and my dear friend Andrea suggested doing a little video tour, so that's what we're doing. We are going to go to Philip's work. This is the path that I think we've probably done the most, and it takes about 20 minutes, I guess, but it's only like 11 miles. But we're leaving our apartment complex, Castle Rock Apartments. This is Wicks Lane. And we got a little dusting of snow the other night, maybe about an inch total, not that much. But it did pile on top of the snow that we already had. It was close to 40 degrees earlier this week, and today it's 14. Fortunately, no wind, so it feels like 14. I hear that may change later this evening. Tomorrow we may get below 0, but close to 40 again by the middle of the week. Billings is a fairly small town. There's really not a whole lot here. I think many of y'all have heard that through my post. It's very odd to us because everything just kind of seems like it's on the same level. All the signs, all the homes, everything seems to be on the same level. Nothing seems to be really high. We're not sure if there's like a city ordinance for how high signs can be. So it's kind of confusing when you're trying to find a restaurant versus a business. One of the interesting things about the city is that I think at no point the speed limit gets over 35 miles per hour. It ranges between 25 and 35. There's a couple of reasons that we've kind of gathered this is there are sidewalks and bike trails or bike paths through the entire city. So of course you don't want to be going 60 or 55 when there's people walking. There are typically a lot of people walking with their dogs or just walking to and from where they want to go. Of course, the weather conditions, because of the snow and the ice, roads typically are slicker. We have noticed that Billings does not have a ton of extra money, so there are a lot of roads that do not get plowed. And usually the only roads that they do concentrate on are the interstates. And then the other reason that I kind of think that they keep the speed limits low is because there are deer and rabbits that like just to hang out right here on the street. We just turned on to Lake Elmo, and in fact on the first day we took Philip to work there. I mean, just right here amongst all the little houses and apartment complexes, there's just a deer grazing on someone's bushes in their front yard, and there's little bunnies sometimes hopping around and stuff. So there's lots of reasons why the speed limit's low. So that's the reason why it takes so long a lot of times to get to work. If your speed limit was 55 or 60, it'd probably only take about 10 minutes. But anyway, this is Lake Elmo, and yeah.
So Amanda, what would you say has been the most interesting thing that you've seen so far while being here in Billings?
Oh, it has a very small city feel, even though it's got it has a lot of stuff here. Not a whole lot of things that we're used to, and there are a lot of things to do here, and it seems like there's just a lot of people and there's a lot of places and things. things to do, but it still does feel like a very small town because know. It's just, I guess in my opinion, there's not a whole lot from home here. But,
So what we're looking at ahead of us here is it's not a mountain. What is it called?
it's not a rim rock.
What's a rim rock?
A rim rock. Well, it's waiting to go a little bit closer, actually.
Slippery.
But yeah, if you just saw the car pull out in front, he was going a little too fast and hit a little piece of ice right there in the middle of the road and slipped around a little bit. But anyways, directly in front of us is a rim rock, and when we first got here, I thought it was just a mountain. There's a lot of things around here called, we got the Rim Rock Arena, the Metro Park, which is kind of like our convention center, the BJCC in Birmingham. You've got Rim Rock Mall, you got Rim Rock Auto. I mean, there's tons of things here named Rim Rock. And I just thought, it was like a name that, just whatever. But straight in front of us is a rim rock, and evidently, when you go and look up rim rock on Google, and you notice here on the right, there's a Taco John's. Shout out to Andrea. Anyways, though, a rim rock is a rock wall that borders a plane. And what's it?
Z-U later.
Oh, the person in front of us has a funny tag. Philip likes funny tags. And yeah, maybe he. Well, thanks. That's on video now.
Oops.
Yeah, so he's showing off. You must know he's on camera. Anyways, we do have. Well, you can't see it in the camera. A little bit over to the left, McDonald's. But of course, everything is covered in snow. We are now on Main Street, and Main Street is pretty long. There's a lot of little things on Main Street. I guess every town's got a Main Street, but well, it's a nice sunny day.
My windshield wiper fluid is frozen.
It's so cold that the windshield wiper fluid is frozen. One of the things we have noticed with just to me, it kind of looks dirty everywhere, but it's just impossible to keep things clean. If you can look on you probably can't see on the roads very well, but as the snow melts, of course it refreezes again, and all this slush and ice just kind of refreezes again, and you just got gravel and mud and dirt, and then of course you got exhaust from the cars. Just everything just kind of mixes together. Well, you get this solid film all over the car, so it's just impossible to have a clean look.
It's our oil refinery over there to the left.
Straight ahead is the oil refinery. Of course, I'm sure many people have heard that there was a massive oil boom up here shortly before we got. I think when we arrived, for the most part, everybody had left and vacated, the area. But yeah, so there's a whole lot of smoke over there from the oil refinery. It's a very industrial town. There's just a ton of.
On this side there is.
Yeah, on this time. The area that we live in is kind of the heights. It's just kind of, I guess, kind of the Hoover of Birmingham, I guess. I don't know. Then you've got west side of Billings that is kind of the
Irondale.
Phillips is Irondale, Rondelet. And in fact, there's a Walmart on that side, and when Philip and I were talking with some of his co-workers, they were like, oh yeah, definitely go to the Walmart in the Heights. It's a whole lot safer than the one on the west side. But to me, they're fairly similar. I mean, it's not like one looks worse than the other or anything. But they just had a lot more, I think, issues with theft. And
In fact, actually, we just had a story in the news yesterday about some theft going on. People stealing cars.
yeah, in the morning, since of course it gets so cold at night, you have to warm your car up in the morning. We haven't gotten to the point that we have to plug them into the building yet. But, well, I mean, so naturally in the morning you throw your key in your car and start it up and go back in and finish getting ready, and about 5-10 minutes later go out back to your car. Well, there's been a string of thefts I think nearly 15, maybe nearly 20, since the start of the year, of people's cars getting stolen while they're warming up.
So we're coming up on downtown on our left. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, the sun is very bright, but we're going towards the sun, it seems. So, anyways, Billings has also got a very large medical community. There are tons of hospitals, tons of little clinics. I mean, any kind of practice you would want, it seems that they've got it here, and they've got
mental health.
And they've got tons of smaller practices that have many types of doctors that work within the same practice. That way, so you don't have to travel all over the city to go to see different doctors if need be. So, because I know a lot of times if you maybe have cancer, you've got to go, of course, to your general practitioner. You've also got to go to your oncologist. You've got to, there's probably just several different other doctors, but they try and keep a bunch of doctors within the same facility. But there's a ton of medical research that goes on.
Probably the only gas station that our southern friends would recognize up here is Conoco.
Yes. I don't think there's any BPs. There's no
Shells.
No Shells.
No Chevrons.
No racetracks.
Cowboy.
Yeah,
No
so Conoco is probably the only thing that would be from the south.
And you don't see that many Conocos.
Library right here on the left.
Very understated.
I've noticed there's not any massive churches. There are a lot of churches here, but they, not
Small.
they're just very small. You get used to seeing those great big mega churches, and the ones that just have the, steeples that go above, all the other, buildings and stuff. It's not there. Very small.
No giant 60-foot crosses or anything like that up here.
We did get snow tires a couple weeks ago, so that has made our trips a whole lot less eventful. That little turn we just took, we would take even slower because we could slide. There's probably another reason. Just right there, you don't want to slide into a person on either side of you. Every single road is at least 2 lanes on both sides. And for the most part, they all go straight, even if you can take a right or left turn off of them. Very, very rarely do they end. Most of the time, a third lane is added before they get rid of.
We got so used to the 2 lanes that the other day when we were going across town, if you remember, I ended up being in a turning lane when that lane turned away, and I didn't realize it. So
yeah,
rare.
Or straight ahead. Just more industrial stuff.
Some mill. This church right here is the Catholic Church. When we had the windstorm, its roof blew off.
Catholic school.
Yeah. Pepsi's big up here. Lots and lots of Pepsi. Not a lot of Coke. You don't see a lot of Coke signs up this way.
In fact, you have a lot of pop up here. The first time we went to Walmart, we got just individual, 20 ounce or whatever bottles of drink, just soda. And she said, "You want your pop in a bag?" And we were like, "What?" "Oh, yeah, no, we'll carry that." Yeah, so it's just a little shocker. But you see just all the snow and dirt and mud and everything, rocks just kind of get pushed to the medians and to the sides. Of course, all the snow for the most part is melted off, ice is melted off the road, so. But I'm sure this evening, is that moisture right there. It'll maybe a little slick in the morning. We had have used the 4-wheel drive on the Jeep quite a bit.
See it now.
And very glad that we had a vehicle that has 4-wheel drive. Albertsons is the big chain, I guess, here. Your choices for grocery shopping is either Walmart or Albertsons. That's it. There are a couple of other little tiny markets. There's like a natural food store that's got a few things. But if you want to go grocery shopping, you don't have, you know, Bruno's, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly, Publix. In fact, our Target, both Targets that we have, they are not super centers. So truly our only options are Walmart and Albertsons. We do get some speed limits up to 45. We have noticed on this road that on the right you have telephone lines that are shorter and closer to the ground. I mean, I don't know if there's telephone, there's some kind of power lines. And then further on the right, on the other side of the train tracks, they are higher. We're not quite sure why we have shorter power lines. The only thing I can think is that since they're between train tracks and a road, that maybe that if for some reason they fell over, they were less likely to cross a road or a train track. But yeah, just like all the signs, everything just seems to be on the same level. It's very hard to tell the difference between a restaurant, a gas station, a business. One of the things that I've noticed with restaurants, of course, I've mentioned it on Facebook. In order to sell alcohol, they have to be a casino, meaning that they have to have some kind of gaming system in their restaurant. So that may just be one video machine. That's fine. Then they can, but it has to say casino on the sign. So in my head, it's very hard to see what is, you know, a good quality restaurant versus a sketchy one, because they all say casino. I mean, think about, you know, going to Texas Roadhouse, but then let's put a great big blinking sign under it that says casino. You're just like, I don't know. That kind of takes away from the quality of it a little bit, to me at least. So there's just all these tiny little restaurants, mom and pop places that aren't anywhere else's, that we've heard are really, really good, but when, you know, it's kind of hard to get back the sketchiness of casino signs. So we have not tried a whole lot of new restaurants. We tried a Mexican place last week that we were not thrilled with, but either way, yeah. So I'm about to turn off here to the right where is King Street, and even that road that we were just on was kind of like an interstate type feel, like Highway 31 maybe on in Birmingham, where, you know, speed limit is 55, a large chunk of it. Speed limit was like 45, I think, at the most there. But of course, there are no Waffle Houses, Huddle Houses up here. Our option is Denny's. It's okay. We went once a few nights after we got here. It was okay. And we're about to turn to the left where we'll pull into Phillips Station here in a minute, and I guess call it an end to the video for now. But if you're just looking down the street, just everything to me just looks like it's on the same level, and it's kind of hard. Like over here on the right, you have a Mattress Land, Bedroom Land, iMart, David's Bridal. Yeah, David's Bridal. Then, you know, Burger King, Lucky Lil's Casino. I think it's a I actually think that's an actual casino. I don't think that's a, I mean, I think you, of course, can order food and stuff there, but I think it's an actual casino. And over here to the left is a Fuddruckers. Evidently, that's the chain up here. There's an Outback right here to the left. But for the most part, that just gives you an idea of what Billings looks like. Of course, we could go, when we go home, it's a completely different look, because the interstate's got a completely different view. But Phillips Station will be right here to the right. Color 8 News, where he is the news director. And even though it's been chaotic and stressful the past few months for him, I think he came in at a rough time of the year. He has enjoyed it, so it's definitely a change, but it's a good change. And station parking lot, and of course the station right here. Color 8 News, and that's it. So that's it for right now. I'm sure we'll do another video soon. This is 22 minutes long, so that's all for now, y'all. Bye.